And like every part of the woman in me was like, run away, don't do it. But then the comic in me was like, but the material, right?
All right, Kel, you ready?
I'm ready.
You excited? I'm excited.
Woo!
Yeah. Guys, welcome to another episode of Shred the Mic with Zeke and Kelly.
Woo!
Yeah, baby, we are back and giving you that fresh comedy goodness. Right, Kel?
Right.
Hell yeah, we are. Hey, Kel, what's the Shred the Mic podcast all about?
Oh, great question, Zeke. Shred the Mic is a stand-up comedy inspired podcast where Zeke and I both do 5 minutes of brand new material, and then we give each other feedback and see if it's any good, if we want to keep it, or if we need to just throw it away.
Let's see if it never sees a mic, never sees a stage. It came here, it died here. We'll leave it here.
Yes.
Digitally for posterity, by the way.
Yeah.
So you can really get a behind-the-scenes look at what it's like coming up with bits and premises. I can never say that word. Premises. I don't know.
They can't all be winners.
Yeah, but you got to try them out. You got to eat shit on stage sometimes.
Or in your living room. Either way.
Yeah, and guys, we're your hosts. I'm Zeke Rodrigues Thomas. I'm a director, writer, and producer, as well as stand-up comedian. And
I'm Kelly Shanley. I am a stand-up comedian, a writer, an actor, a content creator. I'm kind of becoming a big deal.
She is. Kelly, how long have you been doing stand-up?
8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. This month is my 8-year anniversary of doing stand-up. So.
And in a couple months, it'll be my 1-year anniversary of doing stand-up.
Yay!
With the caveat that I've been doing improv and been a performer for 20 years. So, your mileage may vary. So, there's like some, what do they call it? Transferable skills.
Yes.
From that. So,
yeah.
It's not like I started one day and was just like, I think I'm going to write a joke for the first time ever and perform it in front of people and try to connect with an audience. Right?
I mean, some people do it.
Some people do that.
Yeah.
They have different results.
People do it all the time.
They do. We have seen them. Hey, Kel, I think you are first up.
I think you're correct.
On Shredding the Mic. By the way, we are very obviously back in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah. We're back in LA.
Back out of our mountain location, working on our set, and we got a new setup.
We're not freezing anymore.
There's that.
We're not sweating. We're not freezing.
It's the perfect time of year.
Look at that.
Yeah. All right, Kel, you got 5 minutes of brand new stand-up for us?
I do.
Excellent. I can't wait to hear it.
Shred the Mic!
Please welcome to the Shred the Mic stage, Kelly Shanley!
Thank you. Thank you so much. What a wonderful host you are. Thank you. Awesome. So I'm gonna share something personal with you guys. I've been known to get Botox. He doesn't know. No, he. But when I first started getting Botox, a few years ago, I used to buy it with Groupons. Yeah. Which that's a weird age to be. Like when you're old enough that you need Botox, but you're still broke. Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. I used to buy Groupons. And I know that sounds really sketchy, but I had positive experiences. But there was one time where I went into this office and I recognized the doctor, the plastic surgeon, from one of those Bravo TV shows, like Dr. 90210 or something like that. He wasn't one of the sexy doctors. He was older. And apparently had fallen on hard times because he was accepting Groupons for Botox. Yeah. Also, he spent quite a bit of the appointment name dropping. Like he did Josh Groban's nose and he knows the guy who does Nicole Kidman's Botox. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. So once we actually got the Botox done, that took about 30 seconds probably. He goes, oh, hey, so if you want, I could take your photo, upload it to my computer, and then show you all of the surgical procedures that I think you should have done. And every part of The woman in me was like, run away, don't do it. But then the comic in me was like, but the material, right? So obviously I stayed. He took like a side profile picture of me, uploaded it, and told me that I have a weak chin, so we would bring my chin out. And he told me that apparently I have a bit of a supporting actress nose. Yeah. The angle of my nose is too high. So if I ever wanted to become a leading lady, I would just have to bring it down about to a 45-degree angle. And part of me felt so violated because I literally remember being a teenager and looking in the mirror and being like, I wish my nose was like this. So I'm not saying it affected me or shook my confidence or anything. But yeah, this guy was trying to sell me like $20,000 worth of plastic surgery. And I was like, bro, I came in here with a Groupon. Read the room. Anyway. So let's see. I'm a cat lady. Real smooth transition there. So we have a cat. His name's Remy. You've probably seen him on here before. And we have this thing that we do where when we get home, he runs up and he greets us and he like shows us his belly. And then like I love on him and, you know, he gives me all the affection that I require. And then he runs over to his food bowl and I feed him, right? But sometimes he forgets to love me first.
What?
And he just runs over to his food bowl. And I'm like, no. That's not the deal. So I just pick him up anyway. And I like smush him and I squeeze him and I kiss him and I love him. And he just like tolerates it. He just tolerates it. He's like, I know that this is what I have to do. Yeah. And one day I realized, holy shit, am I Harvey Weinsteining my own cat? Yeah, that you paused too long. That's a yes. That is a yes. That is a yes from Zeke. No, but I was like, oh my God, I'm in a position of power and I'm using that power to withhold what this creature, this sweet, innocent little creature needs until I get the physical love that I want from him. And look, I know it's not like an Oscar bait role in $100 million movie that I'm withholding. It's just kibble. But in a way, isn't that worse? Because technically, he could die if I don't feed him. So, like, I'm a monster. And the feminist in me feels really bad about this. You know, I'm like, I can't be doing that. But then I'm like, well, my cat's a male. And he lives inside. He takes up 3/4 of my bed every night. I feed him. He has never struggled or wanted for anything in his life. So, fuck him.
She's a monster, everybody. And that's your time.
Thank you.
Kelly Shanley, everybody. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Harvey Weinsteining our boy Remy. You're such a monster. You know that, right?
I do now.
Yeah.
I do now.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're preventing him from having what he requires, kibble, until you get what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is...
Yeah, you are a predator. Yeah. And then just piling on with he deserves it. Fuck him. I feel like I was like listening to the transcript of the Harvey Weinstein case. I was just like, Jesus, Cal. All right. I mean, this is a funny joke. This is a good premise, but...
Too far?
No, never. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah. No, I love that premise. I think that there's so much there. I think the more you do it, you can find weirder and like find even stranger ways of comparing yourself to Harvey Weinstein and being like that. Your punchline with like kibble was like, great, love that.
Thank you. Comparing
it to Oscar roles. I think there's so much more in that premise that you could, it's sort of like, and what about this? And I don't remember all the details of the Harvey Weinstein case, but
Me neither.
I remember enough of them where it was just sort of like, lots of locked doors, lots of come up to my hotel room for meetings. What's the cat lady equivalent of that?
I was just going to say,
I'll let you sleep in my bed with the understanding.
Yeah.
And you may have already, played around with some of these things, but I think if you go down that dark alley of what was the Harvey Weinstein like thing and all, I just thought of it. So Harvey Weinstein didn't exist in a vacuum, right?
Right.
For him to exist, a lot of people had to remain silent.
Complicit.
So I was complicit in Remys Weinstein.
Remy also has to give Zeke love before he gets food. So
see, there you go. We're finding it.
We're double Weinsteining him. Yeah.
Definitely.
No,
Yeah.
I agree though. When you said specific, like it needs specificity.
Yeah.
So I just have to research the case a little bit.
Yeah. Cause I mean, at the time I remember it and like, listen, working in show business, everybody knew that him and like Scott Rudin and a whole bunch of people that are like notorious pieces of shit are Scott Tobin. Yeah, buddy, fuck you. You're a piece of shit too, by the way. All you guys, dude, like everyone knows. Bill Cosby, we all knew. Okay? Anyone who pretended that they didn't, liars.
I didn't know. But I also didn't work in show business. So
I was like, how do I say this? You weren't working in show business at the time.
I wasn't there.
Right. And so it would have been people like you that they would have been preying on, being like, you are aspiring to work in show business. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Sort of stuff. Meanwhile, if you ask like somebody who's like a guest star and above level actress and they're just like, hey, do you want to spend some time with Bill Cosby? She'd be like, fuck that. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
This is probably all not going on in the podcast, by the way.
It's a good rant, though.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then,
What's our other premise here?
And then Groupon for Botox.
Groupon for Botox. So personally, I know this story, and I found it to be fucking hilarious. And if Kelly will allow me to, I'm gonna put it on the podcast, like a picture of the podcast, that the guy was just like, here's $20,000 worth of work, Groupon lady.
I saved it.
Yeah. I was like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think Kelly is beautiful and the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Thank you.
The thing that he created was also pretty, but in a different way.
It was like the android version of me. Droid? Is it just a droid?
No, you can call it. Yeah.
Like if there was a sex doll that looked like me, that's what it would look like.
It was like take away any defining feature of your face. That's what it was. Yeah. If it's just like, so you have like less chin, so it creates a rounder face, and you have your ski jump nose. Things I love about Kelly, right? But it's like, oh, those things that make you a human, let's shave those off.
We don't like those at all.
Let's make you generic. Generically hot,
right? But
generic nonetheless.
Yes.
And so like, I don't know. That's so funny to be just like, just a little dig at you being like, ooh, you're supporting actress hot. Like you're not leading lady hot. Which, by the way, if you've worked in show business at all, anyone who's supporting actress hot is still
super hot.
Super hot. Like,
thank you so much.
It's weird when people say that sort of shit, and then like you just meet people in real life, and you're like, wait, you were the third lead on this show? You are so hot.
Wait, you're the nerdy friend? Like
they're like, yeah, it was an updo in glasses, like
pretty much. No hair extensions equals not hot.
Yeah. But so I love that. And of course, just the weirdness of like recognizing somebody from a reality show and then them must have like not reading the room being like, I know you came in here with a $35 Groupon, but here's a payment plan and $20,000.
Yeah. I was like, bro, I'm never coming back here again.
You know how this works, right?
I can't afford your regularly priced Botox. Let alone
I'm not even paying full price for that.
Unless you have Groupons for rhinoplasty and chin implants. And I think he said cheek filler as well. So you'll see the picture. It's sexy.
Yeah, it is.
All right, cool.
Cool. Yeah,
cool.
I think that was it, huh?
So keep those. Work on those.
Definitely keep those. Definitely keep working them.
I can do that.
I would love to see them on stage and at a mic near me.
Excellent.
Or you.
There you
go.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right. Are you guys ready for your next comic? You're never going to guess who it is. Zeke Thomas, are you ready to shred a mic?
I am ready. I'm ready to shred, baby.
All right. Are you guys ready for your next comic? Make it loud for Mr. Zeke Thomas.
Shred the mic.
Yeah. What's up, party people? It's time to shred, shred, shred. Guys, I have a couple premises here I want to run by you. First of all, I just want to talk about my love of white people stuff. Okay? I love white people stuff. And my parents are no longer with me. They would be laughing with that premise too, because they gave up a lot so that I could learn to love white people stuff. Oh. Here's what I mean. I'm half Brazilian, right? But I was born and raised in Hermosa Beach in Manhattan Beach, right? Two of the whitest places known to man during the 80s and 90s. In fact, Manhattan Beach used to advertise itself as 98% white during the 80s and 90s.
Whoa.
That 2% was probably me and my mom, okay? We each get 1%, all right? We were the two of the brownest faces, definitely within the city limits. Yeah, it was great. I mean, listen, when we're in Lake Tahoe, shit, it's the same thing too. It's me and like Enna, okay? Like, there's a couple other folks that are here just chasing winter, but like, by and large, this is as much flavor as you get. Yeah. The way I like to describe myself is like, I'm an entry-level person of color. Safe enough to bring home to mom, but if I hang out long enough, eventually the question, so where are you from, is going to come out, you know?
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's not my fault that I was conditioned to love white people stuff. It's where I grew up. It's the culture. There is culture. Don't let people shit on white people culture. There is culture. For example, I love surfing and snowboarding and golf and tennis and country clubs and hiking and frisbee sports and TED Talks and unpaid internships and generational wealth. You know, white people stuff. Oh, I love it. Yeah. Anyways, that's my little piece on my love of white people stuff and why my parents rocked. Recently, we were at our friend Maxim's place for a UFC fight night. And it just reminded me of the insanity of Jiu Jitsu people who I love. And this call is coming from inside the house. I am a Jiu Jitsu person. Okay. So all you purple belts, calm your tits. Okay. Listen, we are all so ridiculous. You know, like it's like I say in another part of my stand-up, it's just another cult. And if you've ever met someone who just discovered Jiu Jitsu, like they've been doing it 6 months or less, they all have that born-again Christian look in their eyes. Where you can see the white part of their eyes at the top and the bottom. You know what I mean, right, Kel?
Oh, there they are.
Yeah. It's so silly. And it's just like they just got indoctrinated to the cult, right? It's all they want to talk about. You know, they're just like, have you tried this thing? It will change your life. If you've the people who were like, Jiu-Jitsu will change your life. I will casually say that under my breath to people when people are like saying like, I'm thinking about doing Jiu-Jitsu. And I'm like, okay, this is going to sound really terrible. Jiu-Jitsu will change your life. But I also know I'm part of the cult. But I get it. It's such a unique, weird sport. It's like, where else can you wrestle around with your friends at 7 a.m. in ceremonial pajamas? Okay? You know, I get it. There's a lot to be said for that. Or if you prefer the more modern version, you can do no-gi jiu-jitsu, right? Where you're basically wrestling around in your underwear, sweating in your friends' mouths, while you choke and strangle them and attempt to break their limbs.
Aw.
You know, or as I like to say, practice death on each other. You know, casually. And it's funny too, because like wherever we are, eventually someone will hear, or the topic of fighting will come up and be like, oh, Zeke used to do that, right? And they will latch on to me. They're just like a leech. They're just like, it's more like a magnet. They're just like, oh, hey, you do jiu-jitsu? Let's talk about it.
It's true.
Oh, and then they just get really close and like, they're just like, isn't it great when you're able to like reverse position from top mount and immediately like, you know, blah, 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 do all the things. And like, you're just like, yeah. They're like, did you see what Keenan said about Eddie Bravo online? And I'm like, no, bro, I got a fucking job. Like, I don't have time to keep up with jiu-jitsu drama, right? Let's see.
It sounds like a reality show.
It does. It really does. Anytime any one of my friends hosts a UFC viewing party, I never get more attention than I do at one of these parties. For example, the best comparison I could formulate is like being the only person with fight experience at a UFC viewing party is kind of like being the only doctor at a family reunion. You're going to get asked a lot of questions you may not know the answers to. All right. People are going to show you body parts you didn't ask them to see. And the night is not complete until one of your dumbass family members asks you to perform the Heimlich or a submission hold, which will choke them unconscious.
Perfect.
It's true. Kelly, you were there.
I was.
Okay.
It happened.
So, for example, at Maxim's place, how far into the 5-card fight card, how many fights in before someone asked me to demonstrate a submission hold?
Like 3?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't even get to the co-main event. Okay. We were And how many people asked me to put them in chokeholds?
2?
2.
Out of like 5 people.
2 people.
Yeah.
So they observed one other person almost going to sleep, and then they're like, do me next. Yeah, that's what it's like.
Right,
I probably ran the clock a little bit.
I think that's time for you.
I think it is. Thank you so much,
Give it up
everybody.
for Zeke Thomas. Okay, good stuff. I had a few thoughts coming at me with the jiu-jitsu when you were saying like when someone finds out you do jiu-jitsu at a party and they get close to you.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have a line about like, oh, you do jiu-jitsu, so you don't need any personal space or like so
you're accustomed to
not having personal space.
Right.
Or you could be like, I still need personal space. Something in there about that because I have seen them physically get close to you.
Yeah.
And then there was something. What did you say after that? I had a specific joke pitch. Like you said, they have the born again Christian look and then they get really close to you and they ask you questions.
Yeah, they latch on like and they ask questions like, hey Zeke, like isn't it amazing? Like,
oh, I remember.
Okay.
I remember when you were like, don't you love going from a top hold to a reverse submission or something? And like my, non-jujitsu brain is like, this sounds like sex positions. So you could do a joke where like I walk up and they're asking you about something that sounds very sexual in nature. And I'm like, excuse me, what are you talking about?
Well,
like,
I'm trying to break his guard and pass in a top mount.
I walk up and I hear something. I'm like, excuse me. Hi, he's with me. Like they're speaking really close to you about body positions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not articulating this well, but
no.
Do you get where the joke?
I do because men and women will do it.
Yeah.
Like they get very familiar with me.
Yeah.
And like, I've never thought about it from like, as my partner watching someone who they probably don't know being very physically intimate and like whispering into my ear.
Right.
Like just because parties are loud.
Right.
Being like, I can understand why that would be uncomfortable for you.
And like, I know now, so it's funny now, but if I didn't, I feel like that could be a funny.
That's a funny.
There's a bit in there.
Funny detail
There's
in
a
there.
bit in there, yeah. Okay, and then what else? The
doctor at the
I love that
at the family reunion.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because it's true. If you have a doctor in your family,
mm-hmm.
whether they are a therapist or a heart surgeon, they get asked everything. And we do it to my sister. She's a physical therapist.
Yep.
And she's like, I don't know. Like, why are you asking me these questions? So it's so funny. And I'm not familiar with the fight world at all. So it's so funny watching. It's a new experience for me. Being at a watch party and seeing people literally ask him to choke them out. And I was like, is this a joke? Like, are we doing a bit? Oh my God, no, he's going to choke them out. And you're so careful. And like, it's just not, I don't think I've seen anyone get choked out since I was in high school. And like, dude friends of mine were like, I just learned how to do this. And I'm like, these are 40-year-old men who are like, can you choke me out? And I'm like,
no, they have like good jobs and make like good money. And like, you're just like,
I just want to know what it feels like. You're like,
I'm like, do you though? Like,
it's like, oh, should this be like an OnlyFans for you? Or like, should you be charging money for it?
I should. Yo, that girl, Killer Sally, we saw that documentary about the bodybuilder, how she got paid to she wasn't even having sex with these dudes. She was just wrestling them. And I'm just like, should I invest in this?
Yeah.
Should this be what my new thing is? My new side hustle?
You got a lot of side hustles.
I got 17 side hustles.
Yeah.
Still can't buy a house. 17 side hustles.
It's so great.
Yeah.
We
Late
love
stage
it.
capitalism, baby. And then what was my first premise?
You were talking
my love
about
of white people stuff.
Hi, raise your hand if you felt personally victimized by Zeke's white people bit. Perfect. Which means it was perfect. Oh shit, I didn't mean that, like white people stuff.
Wow.
I just meant it in the old timey way, like when it used to mean okay or perfect.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna have to blur that out.
Oh, no, which means that bit is so, that was great. I loved it. Yeah, because I love all that stuff.
Yeah, I do too. That's the thing. I'm always just like, guys, I'm not talking shit. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I think golf is the only thing I don't love on that list. Frisbee sports, I just never really figured out, but I probably would if you spent
some time.
If I spent some time, I'm sure I'd love it.
Uh-huh.
No, that's a really funny bit. And when you said Manhattan Beach was 98% white, and you and your mom were the only 2%. It's also great. No, I think that's a fun bit.
Yeah.
And entry-level person of color.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder.
I'm the tip of the spear, baby.
I wonder if there's a parallel you can make between you being an entry-level person of color and white people loving unpaid internships. I'm not sure if there is, but they're related, and they both came up in the same bit. So maybe you could play with it.
Maybe I can connect those dots.
Maybe so.
I'll see if I can do it.
But yeah, I love that bit.
Yeah. Well, it's just funny how, like, you know, I think someone there was a book that came out maybe 10 years ago. It was like Stuff White People Love. And it was pretty funny, and it was all true. And for me, I was just like scrolling through all the things, and I was just like, what are the things that I genuinely love? All right. And I was there, and then I was like, I like TED Talks. I benefited from unpaid internships. I benefited from generational wealth. Like, those are uniquely white experiences, like just like all the other shit.
They sure are. Yeah, I think it's fun, especially to do in a room full of white people, because as you were saying it, I was like, yep. Oh, I didn't know this was all white people stuff.
Yeah.
But,
go through all those different activities, and you know, the rooms in those spaces can get pretty.
No, I know skiing is white people stuff. Like some of them I knew, but it was just funny. I love the specificity of that joke. I guess is how I should succinctly say that. So
thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Good one.
Hey Kelly, I think we successfully shredded these mics.
Yeah, you okay, buddy? You look a little shredded.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Kelly Shanley, professional comedian.
What?
How can people find you on the internet?
Oh, there are lots of ways to find me on the internet. Actually, I am on YouTube at Kelly Shanley. I have some stand up on skis bits. I'm a comedian that might, speaking of white people stuff. I also am on TikTok at Kelly A. Shanley and Instagram, Kelly A. Shanley. And then Medium, if you like to read funny stuff, I'm at Kelly Shanley. Yeah. What about you, Zeke? How can people find you?
Great question, Kelly. People can find me, Zeke Thomas is rad, on all the platforms. We've unified the brand, so it's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's YouTube, it's even LinkedIn, okay? You can find me in all my directing and producing work there if that's your flavor. So we got the YouTube, we got the Instagram, we got the TikTok, we got the Patreon. Patreon.com/Zeke Thomas is rad. Join the supporters, everybody. Join me on Patreon. Support this wonderful pirate ship that we are building, where we are absent of gatekeepers and we are forging ahead for our show business destiny with one eye. Yar. Yeah. Kelly, do we have any shows coming up that people should know about?
We do. We are now producing a show at the Crow Comedy Club in Santa Monica. And the show is called the Star Baker Comedy Show, and it was born from my love of the Great British Baking Show. It's a really great club, and it's a really fun show. Yeah. So if you're in the Los Angeles area, come on out.
Yeah, come check it out. Lots of fun, great comics, unique format, all loosely inspired by the British Baking Show.
That's true.
Yeah.
The Great British Baking Show.
The Great British Baking Show, of course. Yes.
He's new to it.
Yeah, of course. Oh, shout out to patrons Jonathan Hamrick for supporting at the Johnny Utah level. Continue to do that. Everyone who supports at the Johnny Utah level, by the way, $25 or more a month, not only do you get shouted out on the podcast, but you're also eligible for merch, which automatically ships.
It's so cute.
It's actually really good merch.
You could have this on a mug.
Right. Or a t-shirt or a bag.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of impressed with the entire operation, and it's my operation. So there you go, guys.
Way to go.
Thank you. Thank you. Patreon.com/Zeke Thomas is rad to support our pirate ship. Guys, this has been another episode of Shred the Mic. You guys are awesome. You guys are legion. We will see you next time for another episode of Shred the Mic. Shred the Mic is written, hosted, and produced by Zeke Rodrigues Thomas and Kelly Shanley. Audio engineering by Zeke Rodrigues Thomas for Mindjam Media. And when in doubt, shred the mic. What up, guys? It's Zeke. Thank you so much for watching the last video. And if you enjoyed it, please consider supporting my Patreon so that we can keep this thing going video after video. Y'all rip. Thanks.